Shelby County basketball, presented by Cash&Clark Productions. Beautiful night here at the Rainbow Bar and Grill in Sydney, Ohio. And we have another great group of guys here to talk sports with us, all right? Now, we have none other than the Anna Rockets in the building. How we feeling, guys?
Good. Right, yeah.
Good. Now we'll let you guys introduce yourselves and what you do with the athletic program at Anna.
I'm Bob Anderson, and I'm not really sure why I'm here, but these guys insisted I come with them. I coached basketball at Anna for 26 years as head coach and athletic director and bus driver and taught a full schedule and everything else they wanted to do. And I went home and told my wife, with my little bit of money, I said, these fools are paying me all this to have all this fun.
And the rest is history. Pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
I'm Nate Barhorst. I'm born and raised in Anna. I started coaching back with this guy, Matt Meyer, in 2001-2002 season. And I've been the head coach ever since the 2012-13 season. 2011-12. And I'm current coach right now, 13 years into it. And I'm also a science teacher, been doing that for 24 years, all at Anna. So,
pleasure,
yep.
Coach.
Thank you.
Pleasure to have you, Big Nate, in the building. All right, here we go.
Matt Meyer, worked at Anna Schools for 18 years before going down to the Career Center.
Right.
I was head coach 5 years in the 90s and 6 years more recently, and Nate took over for me. And I used to chuck a few balls against Mike here.
Yeah, sure did.
All right, pleasure. All right, pleasure to have you here, big dog. All right, and down there on the end.
My name is Mike Muehlfeld. I was the coach at Anna from 83-84 to 90-91, the boys basketball coach. I was the one, my claim to fame is I was the dumb one that followed Coach Anderson after 26 years, but followed him, and I taught at Anna for 40 years and 44 total in education. I just retired a year ago. So,
all right, pleasure to see you, big.
Yep.
Big man. All right, now, pleasure to have you guys here, man. Great atmosphere here. Would y'all say so?
Absolutely.
No question.
Absolutely.
No question. Now, when you think of Anna, first off, we got to give a special thanks to our sponsors, okay? Without our sponsors, there's no way that we'll be able to make this happen, this 50 years of Shelby County basketball. So special thanks to Ernst Apparel, Wear Your Passion, Buckeye Home Services, your first choice for professional home improvement, Superior Aluminum Products, a great place to work, CarStar, the auto body repair experts, air handling equipment, innovative industrial air compressor solutions, and NK Telco and NKT Productions. Without you guys, there's no way we'd be able to do this today, all right? Had to get that in, all right? I had to thank these guys for this awesome opportunity. Now, when you think of Anna basketball, when you think of the Anna Comets, who and what do you think of, coaches? And whoever wants to start it can start.
Bob, you want to start it? Go ahead.
Bob, you want to start it up?
When I came to Anna back in 1957, just out of college, just from Ohio State, our superintendent was a Ohio State fan, and I think he took some courses there too, and he favored Ohio State people a little bit, and that helped me. And I was given this full schedule and full load, and when I was hired as the coach. I coached basketball, reserve and varsity. I didn't have to do junior high. I was proud of that. And baseball coach, track coach, athletic director, taught physical education, health, biology, physiology, anything else that they needed done. And I was senior class advisor for 30 years. And I loved it. I even drove a bus halftime in the mornings I was coaching in the afternoon.
Jeez, coach.
Anyway,
Set the record for most classes taught.
it was a fun thing.
One
And we
year.
had small classes in those days. It was
Okay.
65 kids in a class, or maybe up to 80 sometimes. So, but it was.
Times ain't what they are. What they used to be, are they?
Yeah, that's right. It's a lot different now. But I didn't have any assistant coaches to trip over.
Okay, so
I can relate.
Yeah.
it must be getting late out here.
Yeah.
Coach, you're a handful, coach.
We had great parents in those days who felt that when their kids came home with a bad attitude about he not letting him play enough, or he's not liking me or anything, they agreed with me.
Oh wow.
And so they straightened up, and then they became great athletes
So-
because their parents and I got on the same side.
So you was the rule. You was running it, coach,
That was,
and you was teaching them.
yeah,
So you was like,
thank God. I found this community where people understood what it took to win, and that helped everybody.
the trickle down effect.
Yes.
I'll follow up with those same kind of sentiments. I'll echo a lot of the things he said. I think when you think of Anna, you think of the pride, the tradition, the fans, very passionate about their basketball, very passionate about their sports. And it's like he said, all the parents seem to be all on the same page with the coaches, you know, and they back you up, they follow through, they communicated very well if they had any kind of problems, issues. But they come out and support. You know, if I think about the Anna community, I think about the love and support they get behind with their teams, and you know, I think you know, without them, you know, we're not here. And you know, follow these legendary guys up here on the stage. It's quite an honor. You know, I mean, when you think of Anna, you also think of basketball, and us being the winningest team in the Shelby County history is pretty cool to have on our totem pole there too.
Hold on.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
winningest,
That's
y'all
correct.
the winningest team in the league.
Yeah. I have a stat there with that.
Oh, you got it. He's checking,
Yeah,
looking
yeah.
at the stats.
So.
Oh, it's a fact. He doesn't have
Oh,
to look.
it's a fact. Oh, it's a fact.
So,
Okay.
yeah, 725 wins to 396 losses in the league. Yeah.
725 to 396. I mean, what else? All I do is win.
And the other thing is too, this is going to be the 100th year of the league.
100.
This
Hold
is the
on.
100th year.
I've heard 70 years. I haven't heard 100 yet.
I know this for a fact. It's going to be 100. The first game that was ever played in basketball history, which is why they started up the league, is because it was Anna versus Jackson Center. That was the very first game. We start off our first game of the year.
1924.
1924, you got it.
What?
Yep,
Man, we
1924.
learning out here, man.
Bob was coaching.
You are learning out here.
I wasn't there till
You was
25.
coaching. And he was.
He drove the bus too.
And he was
He really did drive the bus to games, though. Uh-huh.
Coaching back then, right?
We had horses in those days.
Took a carriage home when he lost a
Literally.
Oh, man.
So-
That's amazing, though. I mean, so there it is. That's when this league was first started in
Yep.
1924. Anna played
Jackson Center.
Jackson Center.
And we're starting off with them this season, too.
Woo-wee! And we're going to have to look at them Vegas odds on that.
We've created a seamless process, so once the accident actually happens, to get you back in the vehicle as quickly as possible. The customer doesn't have to worry about much of anything. We have an estimator come out and dissect and really get into the pieces and parts of it. We do a quality inspection. It's now an office person looking at it as if the customer was looking at it. We don't hide anything from the customer. They're more than able to come out and look at the vehicle. If you ever get in a collision and you need us, just reach out to us, give us a call. It's 937-492-4783.
when you think, I mean, what comes to mind when you think of Anna athletics and,
Well, I
Anna
think,
basketball?
During any time I coached, we always talked about the history, and we were always in the locker room bringing up names like Eugene Egbert and Dick Tebby and the Fakenbeins and Danny Andersons. We always talked about that in the locker room, that, you know, when you step onto the court, you're representing the winningest team in Shelby County, and you're not just playing for your team, you're playing for all those folks in the past. We talked about that a lot, and that still drives. And
Tradition, pride.
even when I hear Nate talking to his kids, they talk about that a lot and use that as a driving force, that you're from Anna, let's play like it.
Woo!
That's right.
Coach, I mean,
That's
just a lot of winning, and winning breeds winning, right?
Yep.
Doesn't winning breed winning?
Doesn't hurt.
Absolutely.
That's how it gets started.
What do you think of?
I would follow up with what these gentlemen said and say also the tradition. And, you know, Bob brought up a good point. We've had great kids. All of us have had the opportunity to coach great kids from great families. And you know, the parents, they let you coach. You know, sometimes not everything's always positive, you know, when you coach and with kids and playing time and things of that nature. But our parents let us coach, and, you know, sometimes that means getting after kids, and they supported us. And you know, that enables you to have that success. You know, if everybody's not on the same page, it's hard to have that success. So it just,
Yeah.
It's kind of like what Mike's saying. If you get on a kid and he resents that, you say, if I didn't like you and didn't want you to be a good ball player, I wouldn't even say anything to you. I'd ignore you. You got to be careful if I ignore you, because I'm interested in if I yell at you.
So if you ignore him, you better start working harder then. Get that clipboard out. Now, we know over the course of all this winning that y'all been doing, there's got to be some stories. At least one that you guys have kept in the vault to maybe bring out, whether it's inspirational, funny, or overcoming an obstacle, or whatever it is. Give me something.
During my years of coaching, I finally got a track coach, so I didn't have to do that anymore.
You got a track though, okay? So eventually got a track coach.
I
So
was
you
doing
had 13 jobs instead
baseball
of
and
11.
basketball, and one year in 1968, we won 23 basketball games in a row, all the way through our league season, playing everybody in our league twice, at their place and at our place. And then we had a tournament that was in Shelby County. And at first it was a double elimination, but they finally got to thinking, we don't play everybody 4 times, you know. So they went down to single elimination. And then we went into
Y'all won that.
into the state tournament, as we didn't have sectional then, you were right in the district. And so those were some of our wins too. And some of those kids were playing baseball then and during baseball season. And we got beat in the regional semifinals, I think it was, in basketball. But in baseball, we were runner-up in the state in Class A. There's only 2 classes then, A and Double A.
Wow.
And so those same kids got
2, like baseball and that.
basketball and
Wow.
baseball, and they went a long ways.
Wow.
And
Give me a couple names, Coach.
Greg Short, Ray Douglas, John Stewart,
Ray Douglas, John Stewart. He's on
Yes.
TV, Coach.
Stuart,
No, not that.
and Dick Gibbs. He still lives over close to McCartyville.
Wow.
And
They kind of set the foundation, Coach.
those were some of the great ones. And Greg Short was 6'1". He was our biggest man.
Oh, he was
Yeah,
6'1".
6'1".
And y'all won 23 in a row, Coach?
Yeah, we won 23 in a row.
What kind of, up and down, what type of style was y'all playing?
Fast as you could go and burn them.
What about defense?
Zone. In those days, you played.
Did you ever play man-to-man, Coach?
Oh yeah, later.
Okay,
When we
okay.
got on the big floor, we had a small floor. It wasn't much bigger than this area right here. Only a little longer and not as wide.
Okay.
That's right.
But
So
play the zone and just
Yeah,
kind
we
of
played-
pack it in and make them shoot
A lot of zone.
long range
and a lot
two
of
pointers.
pressing with zone presses, and sometimes we mixed it up and threw a little man-to-man in there too. If they got too cocky.
Coach, 23 in a row.
Yeah.
I know there's some more stories for sure. I know you guys got. I know y'all got one for me over there.
I'll go ahead. I know back when I played for this guy right here. So it was 1996. He did a great job of like just motivating, and I know one team that had our number for about 9 or 10 years, and that was Fort Laramie. That I think beat us for 9 years in a row. I know it was. It might have been close to 10. I don't know, but it was like 21 games in a row. So he had everything plastered on the locker room wall in the school building. 21 in a row, boys, you know. And so I still remember, I mean, they got us the first round in 95, 96, but we went over there at Laramie and we were playing a great game. We had a great strategy. Matter of fact, we were talking about it on my back patio the other night, and when we were beating them, all right, it was like a bloodbath. I mean, you didn't get along with these guys, you know, and they're talking smack because they know the game's in our hands. Oh, and we're just going back and forth. And, you know, that was a cool moment. I'll always remember that one, and something that, you know, you kind of carry on with your teams too. Like when you're in a rut. We were in a rut last year, 4 1-point losses, and you know, brought him, and I was pulling all the stops out to try to figure it out, and we eventually got over the hump and had some big ones. And I remember another story from coaching. I took a group, it would have been Bart Bixler and Riley Fields camps, would have been, they're going into their senior year. We take them to Pittsburgh. And so we're going against this new type of defensive scheme that this guy is throwing at us. And our guys are getting with Mount Lebanon over there in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
So big D would be a D1 school for over here. So he played. The head coach played at Georgetown, played at Pitt, played against St. Patrick Ewing and stuff like that. And he's telling us about all these things that they're doing with all these actions, and so they're just with us. And so Riley Fields camp comes out and goes, I think it's the elevation over here. It's getting to me. And we're on the same elevation and everything like that back in Anna. That was one of the things that just stuck with me. And that was a great group of kids. Great group of kids.
Like y'all was in the Rockies, man.
Yeah. It was great. We didn't put any oxygen mask on or anything like that, but it was a pretty cool experience to go over there. And then those guys kind of laid the foundation for. I go back to another player that did. That I felt like, okay, this was a start of our 4 years of dominance in the SEL, and that was a Wyatt Bensman who really had grit, guy that was just tough as nails and got us going, and that would have been 2017-18 year, and got us 4 straight after that. Not to say he was part of the 4, but he started that run for us. So there are several other players that I'll mention too later on, but he was one that really got
the elevation, huh?
It's hilarious.
I'll go next. It's kind of weird when you coach. A lot of times the games that stick out are the ones you lose. I was blessed to have some absolute studs that could run, gun, holler, foller, and stay out of their way. But my first year as head coach, I'll remember at Rushi, we were down 21 in the 4th quarter. And we went to overtime and missed a shot at the buzzer to win it. And that's 21 down in the 4th quarter. Chad Platfoot had like 38 points or something like that. And so that one sticks out as the overall, that kid didn't give up, even though we had tons and tons of really, really good wins. And then I'm going to be honest, probably my favorite win I had nothing to do with, and that was this year. This guy's 200th win. That's his 200th win. Beat Rushi. Rushi was undefeated, and he was at 199.
That was sweet,
and
man. I know that felt.
That's
pretty sweet.
They got her done, and so that one's probably my all-time favorite. And I was up in the mezzanine.
I was going to lead into that game. I was going to lead into that game eventually, but he took it. That's fine.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, man.
But that was a cool experience all the way around. A packed atmosphere. I don't know if there was everybody not in that gym that night, and to experience that was pretty cool.
And that's credit to Rushi because
absolutely.
Back in the 80s, they weren't the team to beat. They were good.
Yeah.
They were never the team to beat, and now they've created a culture where they are the team to beat. And so here we're the winningest team in Shelby County, storming the floor because we just beat Russia. So it's just that's how competitive the league is.
Now, that's interesting. So now you got, and that's how the league has changed over the years, right? I mean,
Anybody can beat anybody.
That's right.
so everybody's had their runs and kind of times, but you guys have lasted longer than anyone. That's why we're at the top of that mountain. Give me a story.
In 1986, this game will always stick out in my mind. In 1986, we're at Fort Laramie, and we've led pretty much throughout the game, and it's crunch time, a few seconds left in the game, and we're up 1 point.
Uh-oh.
And we're shooting a 1-and-1 that could have iced the game, perhaps. But our kid missed the free throw, and Laramie went the length of the floor, and before the buzzer went off, okay, one of their kids, Todd Geyer, hit what would have been a three-point shot today. And shot went in, clock ran out, Laramie's crowd empties onto the floor because we both were pretty strong teams that year.
Yeah.
And we had told the officials at the free throw line that if they scored and took the lead, we wanted a timeout. So we got the timeout. They put an actual second back on the clock. I don't think Dan Hagemeyer from Laramie was too happy about that, but they put a second back on the clock. And the funny part of this story is we've got the ball full length, full floor away from our basket with 1 second left. We go out and line up. I had a play drawn up, just a home run pass to a kid trying to get a shot, and Laramie called timeout. So my kids come off the floor, and it was Mark McGee, and I'll never forget. He got in the huddle, and he was in the lineup on the floor, and he goes, "Coach, what are we going to do now?" And I says, "Mark, I don't have that many plays from the other side of Shelby County with 1 second left. We're going to do the same darn thing as we planned." And I'll be damned, but what we didn't throw it the length of the floor, got it to Mike Holman on the elbow, and he pivoted and put a shot up, and it went in at the buzzer, and we won that game. And it's the only time as a player or coach, I've ever been in a game where both crowds emptied onto the floor thinking they had won the game.
Was there any fights after that one? I mean, there might have been some.
Well, not on our part.
Not on our part. You guys were celebrating after that one.
Yeah.
At First National Bank, we are working hard to make your life a little easier. With products like Card Valet, an app allowing you to control your cards with real-time notifications, transaction restrictions, and spending limits. The ability to access your money through 55,000 all-point ATMs across the country, surcharge-free. Live customer support when you need it. And online and mobile banking, allowing you to gain access to your financial information wherever and whenever you like. First National Bank, making your life a little easier.
Together, we are family, working safely for our loved ones.
We are problem solvers who challenge the status quo and drive improvement.
We care about our customer relationships.
We stay true to our values, caring and respecting one another.
We embrace change as we journey through our career.
We are Precision Strip, the world's leading processor of rolled steel and aluminum.
Precision Strip, doing the exceptional.
Hometown Opportunity serves Mercer County, Auglaize County, Darke County, and Shelby County.
The website as a whole is pretty user-friendly. I was able to filter down my options, see what types of jobs were out there for me in the area.
It really opened up my eyes to the employer market around here.
We know that our local candidates, a lot of times are our most successful candidates because they want to come here and stay.
It's become the go-to site for anybody looking for a job in the region.
Speaking of stories now we get to the point where how did Anna kind of elevate, and did y'all have obstacles? Were there years where it didn't look great and then all of a sudden you were able to overcome something and go to the next level? So give me about 3 or 4. I mean, you guys have coached a lot of the years. Give me 4 or 5 teams that you felt like helped elevate or just kept Anna in the top tier.
I can go on that one.
You can start.
When I first became head coach, they were coming off, 3 losing seasons or a few losing seasons. And when I was 23 years old and didn't know what I was doing, and the superintendent honestly says, he knew basketball. He said, you guys will probably be 6 or 7 wins this year, but there's talent coming. And that senior group of kids, just scrappy. And they won 13 that year, which bridged the gap then to this guy and all his buddies who really, really dedicated themselves. And that kind of turned it for us in the 90s.
I would have to say, we had a rough stretch back in probably 2015, 16, probably underperformed that year. We had some good athletes and like Kane Luthman, Blake Stevens, and Carter Gilscamp. Still had about 17 wins. Didn't get as far as we wanted to in tournament. And kind of felt a little bit of pressure there, and then in the next season, you can kind of feel, even though we didn't have as good of athletes, you can kind of feel that kind of starting to turn around a little bit. And in 2017-18 season, we had a good group of seniors, but then we started the Bart Bixler, Riley Hilskamp, Isaac Leininger. We had Drew Broadman, that was a senior on that team too. Really started turning things around for us, and then 2018-19 is when it really started going with Griffin Dosek, and then you had Barton Riley another year older, and Isaac Leiner, he was starting to blossom. So that's when things were on the up and up for sure. And then, of course, we had this. We were this close to going to state in 2019-20 with a good group of kids.
Cash, if you think about it, sorry, Mike.
No.
If you look at Shelby County, one of the reasons there's so much success is the consistency of the head coach. They keep the head coach, so they live through some of those downs, and they allow us to build. And so you're looking here, 58 of the last 66 seasons are representative right here in 4 guys. And so in Shelby County, they let the coaches coach. And so it's hard to say when did something turn, because there's consistency.
And the consistency is why the Anna Rockets are the most winningest team in the league history.
I was going to mention that I can't think of one thing, but in my time at Anna, I was athletic director 36 years, my last 36 years there. And one thing I found is, and it doesn't matter really the sport, don't count Anna teams out. Because, if they're having a little bit of a rough game or a rough year, or maybe they're the underdog on a given night, like Nate's big win over Rushi last year when they were number 1 in Lyle, you could just kind of feel it coming. And if we hung around long enough, you just kind of knew our kids were going to step up. Anna kids have a way of stepping up at times.
No question, you guys have.
That goes back to the good family life and being raised right. And
no question. Coach, then and now, right? The game changed. Y'all didn't have a 3-point line. You said you was playing like.
Until 1974 and 5. That's when we got the big, beautiful gym, and then everybody started building them in. Look at Anna's gym, let's build one here.
So Anna, okay.
And then we had to change and play a lot of man-to-man then, and because of different situations.
Bigger gym and
you couldn't hide a guy in the corner that could hit 20-footers 9 out of 10 times, even with one eye closed.
How do you guys feel about the 3-point line and how it's changed the game? And should there be a shot clock in high school basketball?
When I heard it, when it first came into play, what was it, 85? Is that when it came in? 88.
My senior
year.
Yeah.
Oh, Chuck from out there, right?
Oh.
Was there any 2-point shots?
Not from me.
That's true.
That only thing that line did for me was cause me to move in.
I didn't think
to get a little bit closer. Huh? Oh man.
But I don't, that rule changed the game a lot. The 3-point, obviously, but so did the number of divisions in the state. I don't know when it went to 4 divisions for sure. I know my last year, there was still 3 divisions.
Yeah, I did both. I did 4. We were Division 4, and then we were Division 3.
When you coached, yes.
Yeah.
I started out with 2 divisions, and then we finally went to 3 about 9 years later.
I think the
There's
biggest
7
difference
now, right?
7.
Where you guys at now?
They're
We're
talking
going to be
about
at the very
7.
top of Division 6.
At the top.
So we're tied with number 1 in total enrollment with boys with Coldwater. Yeah.
There it is. There it is. So, might see
It's something how things, and you try to figure out why did they do this. Well, money is one big reason, because it's going to bring more people and more kids and more schools into state tournament. Whether they get it all the way to the state or whether they get beaten in regional, the high school basketball coaches and the athletic association, they get a percentage of that money. So it's going to help them a lot.
And some people argue it's to help split up the Division 1 talent a little bit more, because you got a Centerville that might be playing at Sydney some years, and it's like, man, that's tough for a Sydney team. And they could have one of their best years and not get past them, So I get them splitting Division 1 up a little bit more, but then
Jimmy Chitwood would not agree.
Chitwood.
He would not agree. Hoosiers, bring them on.
Last but not least, the atmosphere, Anna, is there anything like it?
No.
Tough place to play.
It's a wonderful place to live, truthfully. We take care of each other, and we watch out, and we're not afraid to say, I'm my brother's keeper. And it's talked about as being Snoopy and maybe having an eye on everybody all the time. It doesn't hurt, because we all understand that we need each other.
Family atmosphere, winning culture, and great people here. It's been an honor and pleasure to have you guys on. It's been an honor and pleasure to have you guys. All right.
Thanks for that.
You're doing a
And
great
one more
job.
time, we'd like to give a special thanks to our, one time, give a round of applause for the Anna Rockets, please. For sure. We'd definitely like to give a special thanks to our sponsors one more time: Ernst Apparel, Buckeye Home Services, Superior Aluminum Products, CarStar, Air Handling Equipment, and NK Telco and NKT Productions. This was an excellent conversation, and we'll have to do this again. The Winningest program in Shelby County, the Anna Rockets.
No pressure.
Congratulations, guys. We will be back here in a moment. What did you say?
We won the state in football a couple of years ago.
Oh, and he talked to football too. They winning the state in football too. We'll be back in a moment with them Yellow Jackets. Don't go away. 50 years Shelby County basketball.